Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, surely in the messenger of Allah you have the best of the model. And if we as a human being in the world today, if you follow the role model of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then this world will become a beautiful place to live. Not just the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but all the prophets of Allah, they have the best of the character, like Prophet Jesus or Prophet Moses or Prophet Abraham or Noah, Prophet Adam. And the last Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there were 124,000 prophets and messenger Allah sent to the mankind to guide them by the will of Allah. And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the last prophet, and he emphasized on the best of the character. This month is the month when the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was born, and in this month also Rabiul Awwal, he was also died. And he used to say, the day I born, I thank to Allah, so I fast on that day. And then he was born on the Monday, which is the second day of the week. And he used to fast on Monday or the second day of the week. And the day when the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam born, there were lots of things happen in the world. The superpowers like Byzantines, their palaces were shaking. The Kisra, the Persian Empire, they were also shaken, their palaces. The idols in Mecca, where people were worshipping the idols, were fall down and break. And there were lightning in the sky. So that was a great night when the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam born. There was a lots of light in the house of Amina, the mother of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was born, he was already orphan because his father died before the Prophet born. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam born as an orphan. When he born, the mother was already widow because his father was died very early age, like 25 years old, and the mother was a widow. And when the night the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam born, there were lots of blessings and too much lightning and there were lightning in the sky and everywhere. And also the Zamzam, the water of Zamzam was gushing forth. There was lots of pressure coming out from the Zamzam well. And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, even when he born, he has already a good character. For example, when he born, the mother has no milk. And then he was uncle's maid. She has a milk because she has also a newborn child. And she was giving milk, but uncle was very cruel, Abu Lahab. He take away the maid and he don't allow the maid to feed to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam because mother had no milk for some reason. And the maid was taken away from Prophet Muhammad while he was an infant. And then he was hungry and he has no milk. The mother had no milk and maid was taken away by the uncle. And the mother was surprising that he's not crying at all. He has a patient, even though he was a newborn child, and he has a patient, he was not complaining and not crying. And that moment when he was hungry, without the milk. Then Allah sent one of the maid from the desert, the camel. She was running after her camel and the camel brought her to Prophet Muhammad's house. And she has no milk at all also. She was also a mother, newly born child, but she had no milk. But there was a miracle happen when she carried to Prophet Muhammad. She get the lots of milk in herself. And she started to feed. And then he has her own child in her hand. She was feeding him. And she was feeding the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And whenever she tried to bring to the other side, he don't refuse it. Prophet Muhammad was not drinking from the other side of the Halima. The foster mother of Prophet Muhammad, her name was Halima. The mother name was Amina. So she was exchanging sometimes to the both side of her chest. The Prophet Muhammad never drink on the one side because he was awareness that his foster brother is drinking from the other side. So it's right from that side. So I'm not going to drink from that side. So that was a very great attitude. Even though he was infant, he was showing it. So finally the Halima, she brought Prophet Muhammad as an infant to her tribe in desert. And when they arrived there, the desert, the rain is a great blessing because rain is sometime once in a year. And when they arrived in a desert area in their tribe, the rain started to fall. And Prophet Muhammad was started to grow up there. When he grew up and walking, one day he saw that the Halima was sick and she was unconscious and lying down. And the tribal people, they brought some idols and they put on her. And the Prophet Muhammad, he walked to Halima while he was a small baby. He threw all the idols away, the stones and idols. And all the tribal people were very angry to him. That's why he threw their gods. He threw all the idols and he put the hand on the chest of the foster mother, the one who was giving her milk, the Halima. And he prayed to Allah, Allah cure my mother. And she was immediately cured. So that was another great action made by him while he was a small child. And she stand up and she realized that this boy is teaching to the people don't to worship idol but to worship only one God. And then when he grew up big, at the age of 6, when his mother went to Medina and she get ill, she got sick and she died. And that was a big disaster for Prophet Muhammad that his father died before he born and his mother died at the age of 6. He got a very heavy fever, very strong fever, and then he was traveled back to Makkah. He was crying for all night to loss of his mother, Amina. And he went back, and then after that, he was in Makkah under the custody of his grandfather, Abdul Muttalib. And the time will come that Abdul Muttalib was also get sick and he was died. And he took over to Prophet Muhammad to Abu Talib, who was the father of Ali, the companion of Prophet Muhammad, Ali ibn Talib. And then the Prophet Muhammad was under the custody of Abu Talib. And Abu Talib, he started to give him the taking care of the goats, sheep. So he was become a shepherd. And then the first maid, the maid of Abu Lahab, who gave him the milk when he was newly born, because mother had no milk at that time. She was being sold by Abu Lahab, captured her and wanted to sold it to her. And the Prophet Muhammad knew that. So he came to Abu Lahab, to his uncle, and he said, don't sell her. How much money you have? I will pay you. Then Abu Lahab said, you have no money, how you pay? He said, I will pay all my life, and if I cannot pay, I will come to you and work with you until you can get paid by my work. So that was a great example. The woman who feed him for 2 or 3 times, or few times, he want to work as a labor to uncle to pay for her and not to sell her. So that was another great example for his great attitude. And then finally the auntie, he convinced uncle to free her and not to charge anything. When he grew up big, he was become a trader with his uncle Abu Talib. And when they were going towards Sham, the place which is called Palestine and Syria and Lebanon and Jordan, that place was called in the history with Sham, Biladu Sham. And on the way there was a monk, and that monk was telling so that the cloud is going together with the caravan. Wherever the Prophet Muhammad is passing, the cloud is going above on top of him. So he's surprised that who is this man, who is this young man, that the cloud is following him to give him a shadow. So he called to the caravan, to Abu Talib and all the caravan, I want to invite all of you to come to my place. He was a monk. His name is Buhaira. So they said, okay. And then he found out the appearance of Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu and the cloud is following him and other signs. He read in the old books in Torah, in Injil, and he realized that is the last prophet who we were waiting for. Then he wanted to affirm to back off the Prophet Muhammad. There was a seal of the prophet that this is the last prophet, and he wanted to see that seal, and he found out the seal was there, the seal of the prophet, that is the last prophet. So he told to the Abu Talib that this is a special boy, don't bring him to the Sham. The Jews or the Hudi or the Yahudi, they might harm him. So go back to Mecca. So Abu Talib went back to Mecca. He did not push through in his plan to go for the trade deal to Sham, and he returned back to Mecca. Then later, when he grew big, like age of 24, 25, there was a very rich woman in Mecca named Khadija. She used to send her goods to Sham and other places to have a trading. And she used to give the commission to the working partner. And usually she get a small profit. But this time, she decided to trust to Prophet Muhammad, that he can bring her caravan. And she gave her all her goods to bring it to the other place, other land, which is Bladu Sham. When Prophet Muhammad came back, he made a loss of profit. Never happened to Khadija in her life that someone gave him the true profit and he did not hide anything. He gave her a big profit for that return. So she gave him the 30% of the profit sharing. And she was very admired with the honesty of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. And she was a widow and she was a very rich woman. She was widow, the husband died. She sent a proposal to Prophet Muhammad. And the Prophet Muhammad was only 25 years old and Khadija was 40 years old. She sent a proposal that she wanted to marry him. And the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ did not say yes, the respect for his uncle Abu Talib, who was like father. And he said, I'm going to talk to my uncle Abu Talib, my father, and I will ask him. And then he went to Abu Talib and he said that Khadija is proposing me to marry. And Abu Talib said she's a noble woman, very nice woman, purified woman, and a businesswoman and a good woman. Go ahead and marry. So Abu Talib arranged the marriage. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ married to Khadija. And then they have a very good life and they have daughters to born. 4 daughters born with Khadija, the Fatima, Ruqayya, Kulthum, and Zainab. These 4 daughters, and he has a son born, Abu Qasim, but who was died in young age. And then when the age of 40, when Khadija was already 55, and the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was already 40, so he started to feel anxious, stressed, too much thinking about God, that who is my God and why he created me and what is my plan and where I'll be going in the next life. So he gets some food, dry food and some water, the skin of water, and he go to the mountain, and there is a mountain, there is a cave, which is called the Hira, Ghar-e Hira, or the cave of Hira. He started to live there and making meditation to God, try to communicate, to try to remember God there and alone. And he feel very comfortable. Sometimes he stay there for weeks. Sometimes his food is about to finish and Khadija will go to that mountain. She climb to the mountain. She go to the cave and she bring the food to the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ there. Until the time when he was 40 years old, the angel came in a human form. Angel Jibreel or Angel Gabriel. He came in a human form and he came in front of Prophet Muhammad in a human form. Because angel is big, giant, even bigger than earth. But he came in a human form. God gave him power to appear in a human form. So he came to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and he told him, Iqra, read, recite. And Iqra means, one of the meaning of Iqra, to read from the book. And the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, because of his condition that his father died before he born and the mother died and then grandfather, and there was some financial problem, he was not able to learn any reading and writing. So he doesn't know how to read and write. So he told to the angel, Ma ana biqari, I don't know how to read. The angel said again, Iqra, read, recite. And the Prophet, and then the first time he said, I don't know how to read, the angel squeezed him, probably bringing the light to his heart, because the angel is made from the light. And the second time the angel said, Iqra, read, recite. The Prophet said, Ma ana biqari, I don't know how to read. And the angel embraced him, squeezed him, and the Prophet said he feel pain in his ribs, in his chest ribs. And the angel again said third time, Iqra, recite, read. And the Prophet always think that meaning to read is here is to read from the book. So angel squeezed him another time, the third time, and that was very painful. And now Prophet ﷺ, Muhammad ﷺ, he realized it, that person want me to follow his reading. So Prophet said, Iqra, read. Bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. Read in the name of your Lord who created. Read in the name of your Lord who created you and created everything. خَلَقَ الْإِنسَانَ مِنْ alaq, created man from the alaq. Alaq is the initial stage of embryo, which is look like a leech, which is look like a blood clot, and which is act like a leech because it's hung on the uterus wall. And this is meaning of alaka is suspended, and it's look like a leech also. The alaka means the substance look like a leech. Leech is linta, which is sucking the blood from the skin. So same function, the initial stage of the embryo is look like a leech and is hung to the uterus wall in the womb of the mother, and it's sucking the blood for nutrition. So it's a perfect human being from the alaq, which is a hanging substance, suspended substance, which is suspended, hanging, or sabit, or linta, look like a leech, and it's even act like a leech because it's sucking the blood from the uterus, from the mother's womb. And it's look like a clot because one of the meaning of alaka is look like a blood clot because initial stage of embryo is look like a blood clot also. So it's a perfect scientific explanation when there was no science, there was no ultrasound machine, no medical science, and then it's mentioned in the Quran. And the great anatomy doctor like Dr. Keith Moore and the other doctor, they admitted that the Quran should be the word of, and the next words the angel was saying, خَلَقَ الْإِنسَانَ alaq, اقْرَأ وَرَبُّكَ الْأَكْرَمُ, read and your Lord is the most generous. اقْرَأ وَرَبُّكَ الْأَكْرَمُ, read and your Lord is the most generous. خَلَقَ الْإِنسَانَ alaq, اقْرَأ وَرَبُّكَ الْأَكْرَمُ الَّذِي عَلَّمَ بِالْقَلَمِ, you teach the man with the qalam, with the pen, because writing is a way of learning. Reading and writing is a way of learning. So Allah said, he who teach the man the knowledge with the qalam, with the pen. Allama al-insana ma lam ya'lam. So this was the fifth verse. And he teach the man which he know nothing, and then we learn everything here. When the animal born, they born with knowledge. So the goat can run away, the deer can run away, the chicken children can walk right away. But human being is born without knowledge. But the animals or the plants, they all born with knowledge, with programming. But Allah said the human being is born without knowledge. And they learn the knowledge, everything in this world. The first knowledge, with the child born, he learned how to cry, to expand the lungs. And the second thing we learn the child in the world, how to suck the milk from the mother. And that is the learning process will continue. As Prophet said, learn the knowledge from the cradle until the grave. So the people will learn from the cradle when born until at the end of the life that we learn the knowledge. And the best of the knowledge is the knowledge of our God, Almighty Allah. So he afraid that maybe he's possessed or maybe he meet a jinn or he has some magic problem. So he ran away to the house from the grave, from the cave, from the mountain. And he fall on the bed and he started to say to his wife, Zummiluni, Zammiluni, cover me with the blanket, Dasiruni, Dasiruni, cover me with the blanket. And he's shaking. He's shaking with, and even though it's a cold night, he was getting perspired because of the fear. And he started to think, maybe I am possessed now, maybe I lose my mind now, maybe something happened to me, maybe I am with witchcraft. So he has a lust of thought. And then the wife was very great wife. She said, no, you're a good person. You're helping to the poor, you're helping to the widow, you're helping to the orphans. You're kind to people. Allah will not destroy you. It is something great for you. And she called to Ali, who was a cousin of Prophet Muhammad. He was like a son of Prophet Muhammad. And he went to the uncle of Khadija. He has a knowledge of the old books like Torah and Injil. And he knew about Prophet's experiencing, all his signs and everything. And he met someone in the cave. So his name was Warqa bin Nawfil. He said, you as per my knowledge, you are the Prophet of Allah, last Prophet of Allah. And there will be lots of trials to you. Your people will fight with you and they will out you from here and they will be your enemy to kill you, whatever. And if I will be alive that time, I will protect you. I will follow you. But later he died, but he believes and the Prophet Muhammad is the last Prophet of Allah. And he was monotheist, believing in one God. Like Ali, he accepted Prophet Muhammad right away. The Khadija, the wife, she accepted Prophet Muhammad right away. His friend Abu Bakr Siddiq, he accepted him as a prophet right away. And he has adopted son, Zayd. bin Haris. He accepted him right away as a prophet. And then he started to make the mission. So inshallah, we will continue the story about Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu tomorrow night, because it's already too late now, 8:57, almost to be 9. So may Allah bless Prophet Muhammad and his family as he blessed the family of Prophet Ibrahim and his family. May Allah guide us.